Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today, I've got another Naruto character review for you, and today we're going to be talking about Genma. Genma Shiranui, I believe is how you say his last name. First off, as always, spoilers, so make sure you're caught up pretty deep into Naruto and Shippuden if, you're going to watch all of this, because he's a fairly relevant character. That's out of the way. Let's get started with it. Genma. Well, basically, he's he's an elite Jonin. We first see him as the proctor of the third exam in the Chunin exams. The second proctor for the second third exam proctor. The first one, unfortunately, died between the preliminaries and the actual exam. So that was a bit unfortunate. But Genma ends up taking over, and he's considerably more confident than his predecessor as the third exam proctor. Hayate was very big on. He was very apologetic and not very confident. Genma definitely is. Genma actually, as a back when he was a genin, he was on the same squad as Ebisu, the elite trainer that Konohamaru, the grandson of the third Hokage, has, and that also taught Naruto for a little bit. He was on the same squad as Genma, as well as Might Guy, the rival of Kakashi, and the squad leader for Lee, Tenten, and Neji. So Genma's actually, fairly important in a lot of ways. In the Chunin exams, you see his fight against Naruto and Neji, and he doesn't call the fight, despite the fact that Naruto had all his chakra points sealed off. The fact that Naruto was ready to keep going, Genma, he didn't call it. He was about to, he had sort of called it, but Naruto's no, and he's okay. There might be a reason to that. I doubt this was intended at the time, since I know the author doesn't really think too far ahead, but as is obvious by many, many inconsistencies throughout the show. It could come down to the fact that Genma actually has some experience with Naruto's father as well, the fourth Hokage. Genma was actually taught the flying Raiju jutsu. That is such a tongue twister. I cannot speak. The flying Raijin jutsu. There we go. He was taught that, but he can't do it alone. But he can do it with two of his squad mates. And you do see him do this late in Shippuden to transport the Mizukage to the battlefield to fight Madara. We'll get into that more in a second, but back to the Chunin exams. You see him, he holds his own against Naruto, he does not hold his own. He, watches Naruto, and he gives Naruto a chance to show what he can do and take down Neji, which he does. He seems a little reluctant about the whole thing with Sasuke. He's definitely familiar with Kakashi, with his comment about pupil like student when they eventually do show up. He seems to recognize. He seems to be a lot more in tune with things than many other ninja. He recognizes that he recognizes that Shikamaru is particularly talented. So, yeah, his talents with strategy and everything. So he's definitely not one to take too lightly. He's pretty calm, very rational, just kind of a good guy. Just kind of a pretty good shinobi, all in all. He's the one who, after the attack on the elite village starts, he holds his own against Baki. and instructs Sasuke to follow after Gara, Tenten, not Tenten, Gara, Tamari, and Kankuro. So he is the one who got that all started, which Kakashi probably wasn't thrilled with, since since Kakashi sent Naruto, Sakura, and Shikamaru, as well as his summon Pakun after them, to stop Sasuke. So probably wasn't thrilled with Genma's decision to send Sasuke after Gaara, but it happened. And he does hold his own against Baki, which is interesting because, and particularly notable because Hayate, the former third proctor, was killed by Baki. So the fact that Genma is able to hold his own is pretty significant. Now, we don't see too much of Genma for the rest of this arc too much. The next time you really see him show, but you do see him be pretty significant throughout the show. When Sasuke goes off to join Orochimaru, you see him face off against the Sound Village, the Sound Four, and he actually manages to hold his own and push them into going into second state, and use up a lot of chakra. I mean, it's not just him. Like, he's got some other allies. I think like Shizune's even with him, but they do manage to. He is part of the squad that manages to push them to their limits. So he really does prove how good he is with that. So that's something. Yeah. Let's see. You see him show up again into Shippuden when you see the big war break out. He ends up fighting against Zetsu for a while with the Mizukage, and he shows his skills there, and he shows he's pretty competent. He also, like I mentioned, teleports the Mizukage to the battlefield against Madara, and him and a few other shinobi go and take down the Tsuchikage. So that's pretty nice. Well, not take down, but like they go to fight him so that the Kage can can focus on Madara and don't have to worry about this other opponent. Kabuto's the one controlling the Tsuchikage at the time, but or the former Tsuchikage, who's quite a foe. And yes, it is only half of him. Half of his chakra was sealed off, but he's still quite the opponent, even though he is not capable of particle style in that form. So that's pretty impressive that he's able to hold them off. And of course, he's shown like his skill at deflecting kunai with other kunai, and even with the senbone that he keeps in his mouth. Like he's just constantly chewing on a senbone, and he's able to like spit it with enough force to stop a kunai if he needs to. So he's definitely an impressive one. And again, back to the Chunin exam, like when Naruto's fight against Neji, like he kind of after Naruto beats him, he's kind of like, yeah, you're kind of wrong. Like he kind of like shows Neji that like he's wrong about things, and kind of rubs it in a little bit, because he kind of needs it to be rubbed in, because Neji was pretty misguided and off. And between everything, Neji actually turns around big time after that fight. So yeah, Genma, pretty interesting character all in all. He starts out as just a proctor for just the replacement proctor for the third exam, but like he really shows his stuff. In addition, like even during that, like before things go down, like he kind of has a feeling something's about to happen. Like even while he's busy doing his job, like proctoring this exam, like he's still like has his senses up and is able to detect like something's off and something's about to go down. I mean, there is probably part of like his mission, like that something might go down during that. That's probably why he was chosen. But at the same time, that's impressive. But yeah, that's mostly all I have to say about Genma. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I always love hearing from you guys. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel for more videos. I mostly do Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 stuff, but I am going to be continuing these Naruto character reviews for a little while, so subscribe if you like these, or especially if you like D&D 3.5 stuff. Ring that notification bell so you never miss out on a video. And anyways, as always, I'm Mitch, and I'll be seeing you